The thick and thin, and we work well together. I want to say thank you very, very, very much. Lagos. I will still talk a little bit more about Lagos. But I'm very, very proud to stand before you today. When I took over Lagos, it was a bankrupt state. And I'll give you the numbers. Very vibrant. Internally generated revenue of a state of over 18 million people was 600 million a month. The maximum, topmost amount is 600 million a month. When they hit 600 million, they celebrate. That is the fact, is there. Lagos was dependent upon in the revenue allocation from federal. With all past debts, whether for water, for iron steel, from even Jakande era, we had a judgment of old debt that even gotten the state back into a bankruptcy if we didn't go ahead, walk around it and challenge it, because it's a final judgment of the Supreme Court of Lagos. So where do you start? You have Hips, Kilimanjaro, Olumorok, kilometers of rivers. It's very, very, very easy to forget. Rivers uncleared, epidemic, classrooms collapsing, children maiming, dead, class students sitting on bare floors, stinking hospital sites, stinking, no, mortuary doesn't exist. There's no day you pass through either any of the major roads that you will not find corpses. I mean corpses. A friend of mine came home with his wife, who is an American, after seeing two corpses being run over by raggedy buses. She started throwing up until she got to the airport to return to the United States. It was a miserable sight then. But we took the challenge of a team seriously. We built a team, a dream team that became a real team. A faithful team to work hard and turn Lagos State around. To make Lagos State and build the foundation of what we believe it should be. Per head, income capital per individual is 0.18. You don't exist. You don't even exist to provide water for the people. Buckets. You carry buckets about looking for it. It was challenging. Yesterday I was telling some of be it public sector or private sector. I'm very proud of seeing I was passing through my old office here, Deloitte and Touche on Randolph Avenue. This morning I saw that building again. I said, well, I'm glad I'm in suit and tie. Because the training there with Deloitte and Touche, it was Deloitte asking Sansella at that particular training. One of the best professional accounting firms that you can find here. I thought Nigerians. And Dr. Nuruddin Olokoko, myself, they were going their way. We were always lamenting, you know, that we have no time for ourselves. Shafi, you are grinning now. Then it was a big punishment. We couldn't socialize. But the sacrifice paid off. The brain drain is converted to brain gain. The brain drain, and that is what I'm going to talk about this afternoon, and the challenges of tomorrow for many of you here. Today, Lagos has internally generated revenue of constantly nothing less than 17 billion every month. When I started, our budget was 113 of Johannesburg in South Africa. Today, we are in parity. Lagos can proudly say is financially autonomous. Okay. No more dependency. There are some critics then who thought Lagos will not survive. We went to the bond market, we raised the bond. At the time I referred to them as financial illiterates because they didn't know what the infrastructure bond is for. A mixture of any state, any nation, any organization that must succeed cannot use to afford short-term money to finance long-term projects. They are going to go further into the hole and go into bankruptcy faster. They're going to find a long-term fund for a long-term project. They thought it was a Miranda game or a Coca-Cola socket. But unfortunately, they didn't know better. By the time I left office, that bond was redeemed fully with 22 billion in the kitty in the sinking fund to be able to guarantee another bond of 257 billion. If that is not total recovery, if that is not total recovery, call it any other name. I'm ready to write my economic autobiography, but be there. Lagos is arrived. Then, because if you are credit body, you know what credit worthiness is. Before they can post you a bond of 7 years for 257 billion naira, it means you have standard and quality. It means you are credit body. It means you have a AAA minus, if not plus. That's it. In the states that is not lending to economic sector. So, Lagos is succeeding. The foundation is rock solid. And we are building the block. But all of that, whatever level of structure that we might have, I take it from management of layer. Some of you have finance and MBA students will have come across of Learjet in leadership. Okay, it's a case study. I don't want to waste your time by going back into that full form. But to summarize it, it was Lear developed the jet. He developed the organization. What becomes Learjet? An executive jet. Executive jet doesn't exist. It didn't exist that time. And he, as aeronautical engineer and all of that, he put the company together. They tried on the first 24 aircraft for executive jets. Out of the 24 they launched, 4 on the first 58 hours trip, flight hours, 4 crashed. So the Federal Aviation here had to grant all the jets. So Lear company was going bankrupt. It's nothing. They researched into the fault and the causes and all of that. They did all the groundwork and the anger. Now come who will do the test. The test flight. So who will do the test flight? He had only 3 people to volunteer to do the test flight. Here comes Mr. Lear himself in the boardroom when he had only 3 people out of 38 solid, well-trained pilots. But instead of assigning them, instead of asking them, any of those 3, he didn't even blame the rest. Instead of asking them to take that risk, he said, I built the foundation of this company, I'm going to do the flight trial myself. I took the risk, I live with the risk. He took the flight trial. About 8 hours later, he was nosediving, he was going to crash and die. And that was the moment he discovered the error. He forced the plane to land, corrected the error, and ever since, Lear has been one of the most successful ventures in America, in the world. Leadership. That is leadership quality. That is courage. That is the ability to take the risk. If you don't kill the fear and conquer the fear, you cannot make a king. So no matter how much successful we have been, a leader can be noted for the brick and mortar and all the muzzles and the skylines of Chicago, Mayor Daley. You can really relate to that very well. But if you have no good other managers that you have developed, if you have no good successor that can succeed without you or with you, that can really build on the vision you might see together, you can never achieve full success. So it's only now that we have a successful, many of my friends who are here and not here blamed me when I faced a political crisis of nominating who was going to succeed me. I did. I took the risk, and the risk is yielding, and Lagos is succeeding. So we have a very successful successor. And we equally have built a very, very unique model of governance for the rest of the country to emulate. of the company you can relate to. You can relate to John Deere here, and you can relate to Caterpillar here. You can relate to International Harvester here. So you can relate to your lawnmower. So we have a model of lawnmower and the house. The house must not fall apart. The lawn must stay manicured. And the house must be solid. That's the model. Fashola to take care of the job and be the lawnmower. Bola Tinubu to take the grass and clean the shrubs. The House of Assembly to be the sprinkler and get the grass to continue to be green. The job is well divided and we are doing it well. Yeah. If we are tired, we'll let you know. About the future of Lagos, it's now for you. Lagos is open to private sector investment. You have seen that one from morning to night. Now, we've done it this morning with Nuru Koko and Savia Mo. That's why I wasn't here, Hale. I could sit and be observer. But let's continue to pave the way. Lagos State is ready to welcome investors. Lagos State crime rate is the lowest in Africa as of today. Lagos streets are cleaner than ever before. I want to say thank you to Prof. Mgbeke, the man who will become, by the grace of God, Osun State Governor. Ralph is one of the most honest and incorruptible human beings that I have ever found. Honest and incorruptible. He ended the budget of Lagos State Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. He restructured the ministry. He set the street standard. Everything you see on Adeola, Depo, Oregon, Lawansi, Itire, and majority of the ongoing job, I'm proudly saying before you today, all the road planning and infrastructure that is still going on are the dreams and the design of long-term Lagos State recovery that we put in there. I congratulate the guys behind the Aganiu Johnson, who is the advisor and the work commissioner for Lagos State, for keeping the dream and that vision on. He didn't let any of us down. He's an engineer. He was a bureaucrat. We were afraid that this man grew up in the system as a permanent secretary. How can we make him commissioner or advisor? Okay, cabinet member. Ralph said, that is the person. So you bring an outsider, they distort all our plans for Lagos State. This guy has been working with me for 8 years. I've tested him. He's reliable, he's trustworthy, and all we must advocate is continuity. So no matter what you call him, I said, no. I said, just put him there. I said, call him advisor. No matter what you call him, he's the one to do the job. And ever since he took over, he never let up. He never let up. So just say we are very, very proud of you. The hospital that I described earlier on, with the help, Chicago is an emotional city, emotional source to a whole lot of folks. With today allows Savidi Namuwo, what you did for Lagos State at the time of our need, and you've listened to Danny Davis, congressman today. The number of eyeglasses that we've gotten to turn the Earth Ministry around, we beg Jide Idris to come back home. We begged him. It's our brain game. Brain drain converted to brain drain. And to shun an opportunity at Johns Hopkins University teaching hospital environment, it's not easy. That's him to come home. Today, we have the best in West Africa. As I call it, medical school. The rest, they will be telling you about all the antagonistic things, that and that, and the rest. But I'm saying, art surgery is taking place in Lagos State today. All kind of surgeries taking place today. And Lagos is leading in telemedicine and technological development, CAT scan, MRI, all of that. There is nothing we cannot do and get a result for the healthcare profession. The challenge is again, it's just beginning. No one can finish the building of a state, not of thought of a nation. America is 200 years old. Thereabouts, of its independence. That's an offense. Thomas Jefferson and Penn, including George Washington, they were very, very close to the crown, and they were big landowners. They were in good real estate. They were like Oniru when I was doing the roads. So they have nothing to fear in terms of economic security. They were secure. In terms of political influence, they have enough. They were close to the Queen of England. But they saw a different America. They have a dream and a strong determination of strong America. They didn't say because they were close to the crown and they can easily lose the possession of their large estate of land. Abandon their determination and commitment to liberate America from Great Britain. They got together, they took the risk, they created America. America that we are enjoying today was created not because of its fear, not because of the fear that they had then, it's because they conquered the fear to make America a land of opportunity, freedom, liberty, and democracy that you all are enjoying today, that we are copying back home today. If they, because of their closeness to the crown and the fear of losing their land ownership, they took the risk that could have sent them to gallows and life sentence, death sentence and all that. But they succeeded with it because they didn't relent. They succeeded with America. Go back. There's a book out there, I've forgotten the author now, but the title is Courageous Endeavor. He wrote the story of Americans' challenges so well that if they didn't have that bold endeavor, there would be no canal in New York. Without that bold endeavor, there would be no Pacific Railroad. Without the bold endeavor, without Lincoln, see through failure of train to all the way to California, there could have been no railroad. Without even some people who lost their life during the development of that program. So the bold endeavor that we need, we have already started. The federalism, a state within Nigerian context that must not even abandon other states. There will be a lot of discouragement around, but immediately you lose focus. You put the entire nation in danger. Lagos is the economic lifeline. This developmental center is the artery of development to the entire nation today. But without democracy, mi ò lè wá kú kó ń jí oyè ilé bàbá ẹ̀. If all the Ghanaians here were afraid of the juju and all the food medicine and they got them. So, the Obasanjo fought us. I mentioned his name at any time. Critical of Lagos, the tasteful of Lagos, was a dictator, but what I did was turn the adversity of his age to opportunity to succeed. He didn't know it was a very valuable asset to me with his allies. Each time they plan to demolish Bola Tinubu and his political games, I poo-poo them. I poo-poo them. Because there was the dead ideas. Go and read the book, The Tyranny of Dead Ideas. I don't know. Just read it. You will enjoy it. Some of them, they still have remnants of existence of that poisonous, hate for success. But you can't. You can't do that. We need you back home. But you complain of home insecurity. No, generator says. If I tell you the story of those opportunities and the challenges, we'll be here till tomorrow morning. But we have some part of tonight too, and I don't want to keep my Obas, no, and all the rest of you go. But what I just want to tell you is within the context of that country, constitutional democracy must survive. Must be enshrined. To break the egg, you must have an incubator or bring the hatchery out, right? And get a poultry there where you to make the egg. When you bake the egg, you want an omelette, you must break the egg, right? That's it. We can't have freedom served on us. Because power is not served a la carte. You have to go get it. We have to free ourselves from the yoke of the federal government. If I tell you about the local government, you laugh. Let's work on the little arithmetic. And simple picture. This is the picture. Those who are in the other parties and telling us that we can't have 20 constitutional local government and everything, they are arithmetic buffoons. They don't understand constitutionalism. They didn't even study. They talk emotionally. They didn't even study what is the context of the vertical distribution and the right of the entire federation. Why? We have a nation. It's built on constitution. Vertical revenue. You say federal government will take 48%. Don't argue about that first. Let us just talk about the basic. What is not right? Don't bother. What is the arithmetic is saying? Say, why is 2 plus 2 must be 4? You have the constitution. Vertical revenue. Total revenue of this state must be in this account of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then, federal will take 48, right? So you have 52 left, okay? And you say the state will take 52. On what basis? So you now determine the basis of saying 36 states there. Arithmetically correct, isn't it? 36 states. We are not wrong. Have we? Okay. You know, say each state, the basis will determine indices. Part of the element of these indices is enrollment of the schools, number of hospital beds, land mass, and population. So 4 strong elements. So you now say, okay, let out of this 22% that is going to the states, we've determined the indices, isn't it? Correct, we all agree. And you divide that 22% bulk, 52 left. The state owned, I'm talking about the state. Follow me, please. You have 3 tiers, they say. In federalism, there are only 2 tiers. But let's talk about Nigeria's huge federalism. You give 48% to the federal, 52% left between the state and the local government. Now, 22 of that 52, 32 of that 52, for the state. So you have 20 left for local government, right? So you determine the indices, you get the basis. So you now take that 22 as a bulk. If it's 22% of 100 billion, so you have 220 million. 22 billion. You have 22 billion to divide. You now say this 22 billion that will be going to the entire state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be divided by 36. This upon the citizens. Right. Take that. As a justifiable reason, without any alteration, you will get a finite, determinable, reasonable answer. Isn't it? Should that indices change for local government? The country has not changed, has not extended its territory, has not altered its boundaries. The states didn't alter their boundaries. No state is bigger now at local government level than the one in the state level. So you should divide the remaining 20% by 36. Or take the entire 52% and divide by 36 and say, hey, 22% belong to 22% belong to state and 30 belong to local government, right? So if you not bring the if you now bring the remaining 20% that is meant for local government and now divide it by the number of local governments who created in that state, in that country, you'll be unfair. You are wrong arithmetically. You are wrong constitutionally. You are wrong algebraically. You are wrong mathematically. You get it? All you need to do is divide that 20% by 36. So let the person who has 44 local governments go and share among his 44 local governments. Let the one with 20 go and share among it. And let the one with 100 go and share. That's where Pastor and I disagree. And PDP disagreed with me till tomorrow. And forever they will be wrong. You see, because Lagos State was discriminated at when Lagos government was being created and Lagos was fighting for democracy in the country. So Abacha created a bathroom local government. Ignored Lagos. And they created manufacturing local government. They ignored Lagos. They created Lagos and Kano used to be at par. They created a Jigawa state from Kano. They gave it 30, Jigawa 33. They gave 44 to Kano. So if you divide by number of local government, Kano alone will be taking 700, will be taking piles. Why I'm taking only 20 piles of the same thing? So I'm thinner, you are fatter. You get that story? So, and that is what we're. That's why we never vote for PDP. PDP, if they are here, they should go. They don't understand federalism. And then tomorrow they will tell you they will grade 88. And later on they will say they will grade but your 57 is unconstitutional. And I say, wait a minute, Mr. Federal Government, we said between a young man and a young lady, they met in courtship. They decided to get married. We took, the law says, before you can get married, the parents must be introduced. Right? They must consent to it. Once they consent to it, set a date of marriage, you get married. Once you get married, the marriage must be consummated. Once that marriage is consummated, the consequence of consummation is pregnancy. Once the baby is born, You must name the baby.
Yes.
Once you name the baby, after you name the baby, you now take the baby to the council registration hall, city hall for registration. So you take the baby to city hall for registration. When you get there, they say the register is full. Are you going to kill the baby? You continue to nurse the baby. That is 57 local government of Lagos. You continue to nurse the baby. The rest of the need for the quota reform, the electoral reform, we will discuss it at 9. And that's the report card for this afternoon session. On the front of constitutional democracy, we will continue to fight for federalism. We will continue to see progress. You will hear a lot of gossip about political intrigues in Lagos. Without them, there's no politics. Don't worry, we are going to be there. We are in control. This ship of the state is sailing properly, well navigated, and the wind is blowing in the right direction. Thank you. God bless you.